To be honest with you, it's 4:33, but this is the 4:30 Be Encouraged program.
Check this.
Heidi ho, everybody. I hope you all are doing well today. I think we're hooked up. I'm not sure. Can you hear me, Tor? Here, let me bring Tor in. He's sitting in the sideline. I just got back from Ocean City. Tor, you need to move everything to the left, to the right. Your left. Yeah, thank you. You got a big, sharp, bright shine coming through. That'll work. Thank you, sir. Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm okay. Sorry, Lee, to be pressuring you so much.
No. I just got to my parents' house. Yeah, there's a lot of funky stuff at the house going on, and anyway, so I was rushing it. But Dave and Stacy are here and ready. You want me to ready for me to put them on?
Go for it.
All right. Who are they? Talk to me.
So Dave and Stacy have been helping Fairfax County with creating wonderful face masks for the community, and I'm very excited to have them on and talk about their work in the community. They've been helping Volunteer Fairfax a lot, which is a wonderful organization, and excited to have them on for a Friday Feel Good.
Do they know it's video?
They do.
Okay, because I don't have video on them yet. Dave and Stacy.
I did not know it was video, so let me turn that on. Hang on a second.
All right.
Hang on.
Sorry.
It's okay. No problem at all, you guys. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. There they are. There's Dave and Stacy. Well, I'm telling you weren't ready for video. Look at her. She's all ready. Looks like a movie star. Are you kidding me? Now, I believe that you weren't ready, Dave, but not Stacy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe that. All right. How are y'all doing?
Okay, so we'll see.
Happy Friday. I'll leave.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
There you go. You lean in a little bit. Well, Tura has told me a lot about you guys. Tura, do you want to stick around, or you want to? You have other things you're doing.
You got this, Lee. I'm gonna.
All right, brother. All right, Tura. Take care. All right, guys. How are you?
Doing good.
Fantastic. Now, tell me about this journey you guys started on. I hear that you've been really helping out in the community, making face masks. What made you think to start doing that?
Well, so we've both been working with the Herndon High School robotics team. I've actually been working with the team for 26 years now as one of their coaches and mentors. And back when the entire COVID situation started up back in the early part of the spring, and the call went out for a need for a lot of personal protective equipment, face masks, face shields, gloves like that. We started talking with a couple of other teams that we work with, in particular, two other teams down in Texas, one in Dallas and one in Houston. And the three teams got together and said, is there something that we can do to help provide some response to this need for PPE? And there were a lot of folks out there already that were doing the face masks, the face coverings, but there was actually a real identified shortage of full face shields as well.
Sure.
And we recognized some of the skills that we had for designing as a bunch of engineers and students, designing and building things, that might be something that we could tackle. So we got together, we came up with a design that was easy to manufacture, worked with a little company down in Texas to actually have them produced. And through the joint efforts of all three of these high school robotics teams, have been able to, at this point, produce about 35,000 full face shields that we've been donating to the medical and educational communities.
Awesome. And now, how are the educational communities using them?
So in a lot of cases, it's you've got a lot of students that are volunteering and helping with some of the first responders where possible. And as you know, some of them are getting ready to go back and start in-person classes as well. And they're all being required to have personal protective equipment in a lot of those situations. So where that is still a thing that's being considered, we're trying to donate supplies to allow the students to be able to get back into a classroom as safely as possible.
Okay. And Stacy, what did you think about this whole project putting together? Was that something you were ready to undertake with your man there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, watching the news every single day and feeling, hopeless, helpless, this really gave us something to focus on the positive, what we could do.
Right.
In addition, I'm starting to volunteer for Red Cross too. So
are you? Okay.
I'm
Good.
reading the write-up on
the volunteer Fairfax.
and the Fairfax volunteer, and noticed that the person who just introduced us to you,
Tora, yeah,
has been volunteering for a number of years.
Yeah.
Missed out this year on getting his award because of the coronavirus. So
right, exactly. No,
so
but
this
he's
is the direction we wanted to go with these shields, and we feel really good about it.
That's really great. We've gotten several people that have either through Volunteer Fairfax or through their own committee commitments and things. I wanted to pass along to you some information. In Reston, there's a place called Nova Labs. Have you ever heard of this place?
Yes,
yeah, they're doing a ton of stuff too.
Yeah. And they're doing a similar effort and we're well connected with what they're doing. Actually, some of the mentors from the robotics team at the high school also work with Nova Labs. And so, we've been sort of unofficially coordinating with them just to make sure that we're both sort of moving in the same direction without sort of tripping over each other.
Sure. I mean, no, there's just the number of things that are needed. That's not going to, I don't think there's going to be much tripping over each other. And I figure you guys probably had worked with them. I'm still waiting to go up there and have a little walk through and check the place out. And when I heard about it, I was like, what? That's been up there in Reston for all this time and I didn't know. So we're going to plan on doing that, and maybe even bring up a training on broadcasting and stuff. So who knows? We might work out something with them to do something like that. It's exciting what they're doing there, and it sounds very exciting what you guys are doing. Do you guys work with 3D printers at all, like they do at Nova Labs?
Yeah, quite a bit. Actually, I've got the one that the robotics team just bought. Just as we had purchased it for the team, the school closed down because of the COVID response. So it's actually sitting downstairs in my basement right now, waiting for me to deliver it to the school when they do open back up. But yeah, we do work with 3D printers quite a bit. One of the things we did though with this particular design that we came up with is that we specifically designed it so that you actually can make these things by hand. If you just have a sheet of polycarbonate or plastic, you can cut them out by hand and make the shields. Because we want and we've open sourced that design so anybody can take the design and go make their own if they want to. And that was sort of originally our idea with the groups that we were working with, that really were pushing an open source philosophy behind everyone's ability to manufacture this stuff. But then once we sort of got that proven, we said, well, yes, we're telling people, here's how you can go make your own. But we also wanted to have the teams have an ability to sort of be behind actually doing some massive manufacturing as well. So we tweaked the design a little bit with the other two teams down in Texas, worked through them to find a company that could actually do die cutting, so that basically just doing a bigger process behind cutting these things out by hand allows them to knock them out by the thousands and produce them for us. And that's
you do like 100. You can put like 100 sheets together and they can cut it.
That's exactly what we're doing, and just knocking them out for us as quickly as possible so we can get them out to the community as quickly as we can.
Jay, tell them how you are learning the 3D printer software, what project you are doing while we are working from home.
Yeah, we're to try to learn the new 3D printer stuff, because I'm not over at Nova Labs all the time and can't quite tap into some of their expertise. And so I'm currently printing my own version of a small Wall-E robot down in the basement to put together as a training exercise for the whole thing. So,
nice.
So yeah, we got robots running around the house too.
That's cool. I like that. Do they bring you your drinks, your beverages for the afternoon siesta, or
That's going to be
Good
task
idea.
number one.
that should be task number one? You should. That's the first robot you need to design. Something that can bring you stuff. And then you got to figure out how you can get it to pull it out of the fridge, put it on the tray, and bring it to you then. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's
Whatever.
the task that we leave to the students on the robot team that are really exercising the software stuff. So we give them that as their first thing to do with them.
That's cool. That's cool. And when you set up the robotics, do you set them up and put in your own code so they know which way to go and how to get where they're going, or do you now have them set up with the old Tesla? They can read where the walls are and know how to go.
Well, so the teams that we have, this is actually all part of a large, actually international program called FIRST Robotics that involves at this point about 3,500 high school robotics teams from all around the world that compete annually. And they work with it. The teams are made up of high school kids and professional engineers that act as their mentors that work together with them to build robots that compete each year. And so normally right about this time of year, we would all be off at competitions in a big arena with robots and everything else. It looks almost like a Final Four basketball tournament, but because of the situation, we're not doing that. So that was where we were able to take the students who are really excited about working with mechanical systems and actually building real things and turn them loose on this particular problem, which resulted in the face shield production.
How many schools in Fairfax County have robotics teams?
It's probably 10, I would guess, or 10 plus or minus. But so Herndon is the one that sort of started the activity going all the way back to, we actually started at South Lakes, then moved to Herndon in 96 and then 98. And they've been going ever since then all the way through. And, Oakton, Madison, lots of the other schools have them as well as there's also a homeschool team in the county. Of
course there's a homeschool team. They probably have the most beast robot there is. Who knows? That's cool. No, I went to Robinson, and of course at the time, I think we were one of the only schools that had a rifle team. But we did not have the robotics team. I also worked for Manassas Park High School back many years ago. They had electric vehicle club where they had an actual Mazda car that they raced, and it was all electric, and it was fascinating to watch these kids really just jump into it, and they're finding out this transistor needs to be hooked up to this to make that work, to make this work, and it was a beautiful exchange of ideas with the teacher, the mechanics teacher, who was their sponsor for their thing, because they had auto mechanics there as well. But the electric vehicle club was totally different, and this was 20 years ago. So this is before Priuses and all these other cars that have been coming out with, and of course the Teslas and everything like that. But it was fascinating to watch because we went down to a race, and I'm just probably very similar to what you guys go to. The cool thing was the first race was the colleges, and they had like what looked like real Formula One cars that were racing at speeds of 200 miles an hour on this track. And all electric batteries, and that's how they changed them. They changed like 10 batteries at a time, when they came into pit. So there's no gas, no nothing. Tires, yes, but anyway. But it's quite exciting, and it's very much along the lines of the robotics teams, I'm sure.
Several of our students who graduate from Herndon go on to other schools, in particular the ones that are going down to Virginia Tech, do exactly the electric vehicle programs down there, and they sort of bring those stories back. So exactly the experience that you relayed is what several of our students go through when they go off to college. Yeah, I mean they have to hire professional drivers to drive their cars. The students don't, because they're driving at 200 miles an hour, so they have to have a pro driver, certified, whatever, and they got to go hire them to come in, and it's amazing to watch. Just like if you were at a real race car or racetrack with a real race going on, and it's fascinating stuff. Robotics are fascinating. Do you guys ever do the robotic wars kind of stuff where you
battle bots or whatever they are?
The particular BattleBots program, we don't participate in that at the high school level.
I'm just wondering.
I actually know the two guys that created and founded BattleBots, and
Oh, really?
many of their tapings of their shows quite a bit and watched it.
That's very cool. No, I've only watched that maybe once or twice, but it was very cool. I just, I don't have time all the time to do what I want to do. But yeah, it's fascinating. I like to pull it up on YouTube occasionally, and when I got a little extra time and watch those guys. It's fun to watch. It's fun to listen to the commentators and the play-by-play and color guys talking about all the intricacies, and it's exciting. It's fun. They make it out. They make it ready for TV, and it's really well done. Really well done. So listen, I want to thank you. So what else besides the PPE shields? You guys were in fact making face masks also, or just the face shields?
Just the face shields are what we've been focusing on so far.
35,000 of them. Wow.
Yeah. And when we're looking at, I actually should mention that out of the 35,000 that we've manufactured so far, we've given away and donated most of them to either the medical or the educational community. But we do have some that are still available. And if there's folks out there that are interested that want them, you can go to robotshields.com, and basically they're available at cost to anybody, but also for educational or medical organizations. You can fill out an application for a donation and get them donated. And so they are available out there, and there are still a few thousand left. Depending on, we may do additional runs.
I'm about to say, you can make more probably.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. Do you happen to have one there at the house that I can see? Do you have one?
Yeah, she'll go grab it.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to see one, because I've seen a couple. There's a young man that goes to Fairfax High School, Rajesh.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he's been making them with the 3D printers. Of course, the shield itself is just cut out of the poly, whatever it is. but the holder, that's what I'm interested to see what you have that holds the shield. Is that what you make with the 3D printers, or is that what they're making down in Texas?
We actually, like I said, because we wanted this to be something that anybody could make at home by themselves, assuming nothing other than a couple of hand tools in their shop, in their garage.
Oh,
and
okay.
So we just specifically designed this to not require the use of a 3D printer, but rather is just made out of pieces of polycarbonate that are all held together with wire ties. The advantage is that you can actually take this and it can be sterilized and cleaned and autoclaved if it is used in a medical setting, so it can be reused. And then, like I said, the other advantage is that you can make it at home without a 3D printer or without anything else. And so that was the approach that we took with this one, and really trying to do that. And yeah, we've got one here. We'll open up and show you the different pieces.
Is robotshields.com, does that have the open source plan for it also?
It does. And yeah, you can just go in there and download the template, put it on a sheet of polycarbonate. Yeah, you can see that. It's got all the information there, and we do have a full information data sheet on it, as well as for the folks that do want to clean and sterilize them. The materials compatibility is all listed on there as well, and what cleaners you can use, as well as what autoclave settings if you're doing that. So all of that is there and included, and then the whole thing is wire ties.
So what she's showing is a piece that has not had the thing peeled off of it yet, right?
Yeah, the protective film is on there right now, which is why it looks
Why it looks like you. How can you see through that? No, I understand. Believe me, I've used the plexiglass before.
We actually had that question.
I'm sure you have. The first thing you look at it, you go, how am I supposed to see through that? But I knew.
That's right.
What'd you say, Stacy?
No names will be mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, show me this. What you got here?
So anyway, you basically get just a headband that's just made out of the plastic. That just wears here, and then the face shield itself. Again, once the film is taken off, it just straps in front, and then the entire thing is just held together with regular little wire ties. And it's very simple to put together. It just takes a couple minutes, and then you're good to go.
Good to go. That sounds awesome, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing for our community. I mean, for the first responders. I mean, have you given those also to the paramedics and stuff on the fire? But those guys have that stuff, or what?
Actually, I tried to first with our local fire department, walk downtown, and they said that they have a process. They have to go through Fairfax County. So that's how I got in touch with filled out the
Volunteer
form.
Fairfax.
Right.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So, which is understandable. They have to, make sure
who's giving them to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, no, I understand. I know it's so weird, and when you want to do something good, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, you can't give those to us. But we used to. The only thing that I know that we got okays from was that my daughter's troop, whenever they had the leftover Girl Scout cookies, would take them to the local fire departments and give them to the guys, and or that was actually the if you wanted to donate money instead of buying cookies at the Giant or wherever you would go, that's what they would purchase, cookies, and take those down to the fire department guys. And those guys, oh yeah, believe me, there's no forms to fill out to give out cookies.
Yeah.
They were like going, thank you.
We'll show up next time with a bag of shields and a plate of cookies together and see if they'll take them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can take the cookies, but we gotta put the food. I appreciate you guys so much for being encouraged with us. You guys are encouraging, in fact. And, keep us up to date on the Robotics Club, because we'd love to have them come on, have the kids show us some of their robots and stuff. That'd be very cool. I would be very interested in that. And Stacy and Dave, thank you so much for being with us today on the program. I hope you've had an enjoyable time on the program. And if there's anything we haven't covered, is there anything we haven't covered that you wanted to talk about?
I think we've really hit the highlights, definitely. But
Good.
Yeah, other than the fact that we do still have some available. If there's need out there, just let us know, and we'd be happy to work with folks to get more out there.
And I'll put that up on our Facebook page as well, the robotshields.com. So Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Appreciate
Thank you, Tora. Good guest.
Yeah.
Tora, yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. All right. That's Dave and Stacy doing good stuff, making 35,000 shields amongst their triad of high school teams. Unbelievable, y'all. It's just it's so encouraging to see people working out there in the working in the community and doing things to help out the first responders, the hospitals, and everything else. So it was great. Love to have them. Clark Crawford, you superstar. How are you, my good friend? Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, for in not too long, hey, there's Amy Gish jumping in there too. In not too long from now, we're going to be having on a Kelsey and Clark television little video show, Facebook Lives. So I can't wait until that happens. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the LMB show is on at 8 o'clock. And then at 9, we bring in the rest of the crew to say hey and hang out and do a couple of things. I think we're having a spelling bee tonight, Tora. So you better start reading your dictionary. We'll hope that everybody will join us. Maybe Clark and Kelsey will join us as well on tonight's program. It's the LMB show, and the LMB show goes for 1 hour with me and Fred and Bill. And then the second hour, we take over and everybody's allowed to jump in. And Tora says he loves spelling bees. Spell friend, Tora. Anyway, just kidding. Got to go, folks. It's time for us to close the show down a little bit. And I appreciate everybody who's tuning in to watch. I just got back from Ocean City, and where it was just a delight to be there. And got lots of things, got a couple of things to do. And yes, very good, Amy. I like that. I can't spell with a 1 L. That's nice. All right, Amy, you're probably the one that's going to kill all of us anyway. Do you know how to spell magnitude? Magnitudolo? You have to spell You have to spell that? Yeah, you're in for it. I'm coming for you, Amy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. And don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, the LMB show, followed by more of the LMB show, but more people. And that's what it's all about, folks. It's all about good times, communities, special needs, special people. And that includes all of y'all.